At 28th and Prairie, there's a beautiful 125-year-old Queen Anne-style mansion that is an interesting survivor. It was built in 1885 by a lumber baron who was giving it as a gift to his daughter. That family was white, and they held the house until the late 1940s. They didn't live in it from the late 1930s because white flight was changing that neighborhood quickly. They held on to the house, though, and a black couple, a pair of young scholars in 1948, came along and asked if they could buy the house. It was in terrible shape. The white family said they'd give it away. The black couple bought it and spent a lot of time and money renovating it.
Maxie Boyd was a professor at Roosevelt University when there were very few women. She was the only African-American, a female professor at the time that I attended in the 60s. And she took us all around the house. She loved the architecture, and she knew that it was unusual for a young couple like themselves to own a house with all of these significant architectural features. She loved it so much, and we had hoped maybe in the last 6 months of her life or something that she could stay here because she loved it. She always asked about the house. We had a picture of the house in her room in the nursing home.
Renovation is a must. At the moment, the house doesn't have a kitchen. It has a room for a kitchen, but there's really nothing in it. The old appliances are all gone. There's one working bathroom. It's very small, and it has very old plumbing. All the plumbing in the house is at least 60 years old, if not much older. Many of the rooms, the secondary rooms, bedrooms and things like that, are in a shape that demands restoration. But at the core of the house is this magnificent woodwork.
All of the woodwork on the staircase has been completely preserved and retained. All of the moldings have been retained. And then in addition, you have some spectacular stained glass windows original to the house from 1885. And the master suite, which is really interesting, originally had its own walk-in closet dressing area and opens up into a whole nother parlor area. You could literally have approximately a 1,200 square foot master bath and master bedroom suite.
A question that any potential buyer will ask is, what's going to happen on the three sides of this house that are now vacant lots owned by the city? Public housing was on those lots. It's all gone. But what happens there in the next few decades on this city-owned land certainly affects what an owner would want to do with this home.
She wanted to have the house landmarked. That was a goal. After she got the house livable and Mr. Boyd was gone, her next goal was to receive landmark status. She wanted national landmark status. And so we did get the status. So I wrote up the statement on the plaque, but I wished I had said that Charles and Alva were African American. And at a time when blacks could hardly buy a bungalow, they had this large mansion. So for history and for young people, in a way, sometimes I think about redoing the plaque and saying that they were an African American couple.